Patty was so awed when she walked into the sacred precincts of the FBI the next morning that her courage almost failed her. And it probably would have, had not a young agent named Zeke Kelso been so nice to her. He listened to her unusual story with growing interest, and when she showed him the wristwatch, she could tell that he was quite excited. Patty thought he had the nicest smile. "I don't know," he said, shaking his head. "In all the history of the FBI, we've never had a cat as an informant." Patty went to the FBI and told the unusual story to a handsome young agent named Zeke Kelso. He excused himself to consult his superior. Supervisor Newton agreed that although they had no proof that the watch was Margaret Miller's, still they did not dare discard the possibility. The criminals had seemingly vanished into thin air, and so far the FBI had no lead. Patty was very proud when Zeke brought her home in a in a bureau car. It had been decided that he would set up operations at the Randall home and attempt to follow D.C. on his nightly rounds, in the hope that he would return to the house where he got the watch. As Zeke was getting his suitcase of equipment, Patty glanced out of the corner of her eye at the house next door. The drapes were parted a slit and an eye was peering out. "Oh no," she whispered. "Don't look now, but Mrs. McDougal is watching as usual. She's a human radar system. Knows everything that goes on in the neighborhood. Mom and Dad are on their vacation, you know. But Mom says she doesn't worry a bit about us with Mrs. McDougal on the job." Zeke groaned. The success of his plans depended upon complete secrecy. "Mrs. McDougal is always scolding her poor husband," Patty continued. "And he's pretty cantankerous. He's hard of hearing, but Dad says that's a blessing. When he gets fed up, he just yanks out his hearing aid." Patty showed Zeke to Ingrid's room in the rear of the house. "I think my sister's room will be the best. It's farthest from the action. And there's quite a bit of action around this house. Normally, that is. And you can see when D.C. leaves through his private entrance in the back door." "Come out from under the bed, D.C.," Patty coaxed. "You are now an informant for the FBI." In the dead center of the bed stretched D.C. He was making funny noises and his legs were twitching. "He's chasing something in his sleep," Patty interpreted. Agent Kelso gazed in disbelief. "That is a cat?" It was the most formidable feline he had ever seen. Patty put a hand on D.C.'s shoulder and shook him gently. "Hey, you lazy thing, wake up. This is your FBI agent." Slowly, darn cat eased one eye open. He was annoyed that his girl would awaken him in the middle of the day when she knew he needed his sleep. His eye moved to Zeke, and he wondered who the man was. He had never seen him before, and if he never saw him again, it would be too soon. D.C. closed the eye. Sometimes the humans went away if he pretended they weren't there. At a strange sound, almost like hissing, D.C. rose to flight position. Patty reassured him, however, and he realized it was only the man sneezing. "Sorry," Zeke said. "I'm allergic to cat fur." He sneezed again and tears welled up in his eyes. He unpacked his equipment and put it on a small table which Patty provided. Besides a compact sending and receiving set, there was a camera and fingerprinting kit. As he admitted later, Zeke made his first big mistake when he took D.C.'s picture. When the flash went off, darn cat disappeared under the bed and refused to come out. He appeared to be in a very angry and uncooperative mood. If a dangerous killer had been lying in wait, Zeke would have known what to do. But he had no experience with cats. He suspected that if he attempted to bolt D.C. out, he might lose a hand. "When I count 3, Patty said, "grab!" On 3, they both lunged. D.C. lashed out at his assailant with the speed of a Samoan knife thrower. Zeke missed capturing him, possibly because of the blood running down his hand, but Patty got a hammer hold on DC's hind leg. Now I've got a fingerprint. Paw print him, Zeke said resolutely, after Patty had bandaged his scratched hand. Do you have to? He's getting awfully mad. Zeke nodded. It's required. First thing we always do with an informant. Besides, we might pick up his trail from last night if he stepped in the mud or something. It was agreed that the bathroom was the best place to attempt the job. Patty put DC beside the wash basin, and over his loud protests, kept him pinned down. Zeke studied the fingerprint card, which had squares for each of the 10 human fingers. Let's see, he murmured. Shall I put it in the square for the thumb, or for one of the fingers? I've got to paw print him, Zeke said, since he will be working for us.